right, thanks so much for sharing your garden with us. Right now we're going to take a trip to South Asia, courtesy of your garden, and we're joined by Dave Sargett from It's About Time. It's a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thanks, Tom. It's great to be here.
We're going to be talking about Ayurvedic herbs, and these are plants from ancient traditions that are currently being used by thousands of people across the United States. Tell us a little bit about the tradition.
Well, it's an ancient Indian tradition, and again, all stemming from the concept of Aman Brahma, which is God is food. And so for what we're talking about today, we're going to be talking about plants and how they work in our bodies and in our systems to keep us healthy and keep us in tune with God.
All right, very good. Well, there are a lot of foodies out there who probably are in agreement with you on this.
Amen to that, yeah.
And there are a lot of really cool herbs that we can grow on our own.
Absolutely, particularly here in Austin.
Yeah, I mean, we have that kind of tropical climate, or increasingly so.
Right.
Maybe without the monsoon, sometimes with.
Well, we had a pretty harsh winter, but we're coming back from it. So.
Right, right. Well, we have a lot of plants to talk about, and the first one is one that you describe as a superfood.
Absolutely.
This is Moringa.
Moringa oleifera.
Right. Tell me a little bit about this.
Well, there are about 15 different subspecies of Moringa as it is, and Moringa oleifera is the one that we grow, which is native to India, and that little baby, which we grow from seed, will be about anywhere from 15 to 22 feet tall by November.
Wow.
At which point you will be harvesting all of the leaves, the flowers, and the long drumsticks. In fact, in Tamil, Moringa means drumstick. And
is that a seed pod?
It's a seed pod, yeah. And you eat it kind of like you would artichoke, you know, through the teeth. And then you obviously save the seeds, but it has a kind of an overtone of horseradish to it. And when you eat the leaves green, they are kind of like lettuce with an overtone of horseradish.
Okay. A little spice kick.
Little spice kick, and then I made a great cocktail sauce out of the roots, which again are like horseradish. But you don't want to use the roots over a plant 3 feet tall, because then we get a little enzyme in there that we don't want.
Okay.
But flowers, seed pods, and leaves, absolutely edible and dry.
Okay.
So we got about 23 pounds of dried off of our plants just in the garden this year.
And what makes it a superfood?
Again, just the makeup of the plant itself. More vitamin C than oranges, more potassium than bananas, more protein than eggs.
Wow.
Antioxidants, again, the flavonoids for fighting free radicals. And so anti-diabetes, all of the fun things that would qualify it as a superfood, much like a goji berry or some of the other great things.
Wow. And I'm assuming, given what you've described thus far, this is a plant that is well adapted to full sun and good garden soil.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, what I do is I'll plant those in the garden, and they offer shade for some of my peppers, some of my tomatoes as we get into the solar flares of an Austin summer.
Okay, so a great plant for our area. We're going to transition by talking about curry plant. Yeah. And this again looks like it would be a robust plant in the garden. It gets pretty big.
It does get pretty big, and the great thing about whereas this one is we treat it as an annual. The Moringa we treat as an annual, and we chop it down after it's done. Keep the stem about 3 feet high. That'll come back. The Moringa will come back from the root. Curry leaf also we chop that down. We dry the leaves. We start all of these from seed, and I have one in the medicine garden at the nursery that's 4 years old now, and we got about 6 pounds of dried off of that one this year.
Wow! And tell me about the uses for curry plant. I know
it's culinary. Majority is culinary. It is used also medicinally for skin diseases or skin ailments, psoriasis, much like neem would be used.
Okay.
Yeah.
So similar
topically,
right? And again, just looking at it, full sun?
Actually, the way that I have mine grown is under some lousy hackberry trees on the southern end of the garden, medicine garden. It gets, each year gets bigger and bigger, but tops out at about 8 feet. I feed them just normally, and they can certainly take full sun. But I keep mine a little bit shaded just because it gets so darn harsh.
Okay, yeah. All right. Well, after the curry plant, we do indeed have a neem.
We do have
a lot of people are used to using neem oil.
Sure. Well, neem oil, from a horticultural standpoint, we're all pretty familiar with. From a health and beauty standpoint, it's used much like the curry for skin ailments medicinally, and then also from a beauty product standpoint for adding essential oils back into your skin and hair. So they use it extensively for health and beauty in India and throughout the world. Those little babies are just waking up from winter,
Sure.
and so it's a little sparse looking, but they would needed to be they would need to be treated as a tender perennial.
Okay,
So they would have to come in the
shelter it,
winter.
in other words.
They would have to come
Simple.
in the winter.
Okay.
Right.
Gotu kola is another herb that is getting a lot of attention.
Again, another superfood, just
Yeah.
full of so many vitamins and minerals, and also the studies have shown that it works with memory and working with brain synapses to help people with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and things like that,
Yeah.
and to increase memory, and very easy to grow, full sun or shade as
Okay.
a ground cover.
All right, and it looks like a beautiful ground cover.
It's very
frankly.
pretty, really
Yeah.
pretty.
All right. After Gotu kola, we have a henna plant, and everybody are used to henna tattoos.
Right.
Can you make a tattoo out of this?
You most absolutely you can, and that's why I grow them.
Okay. Well, how do you do it?
Again, you harvest the dried leaves, and you can put any citrus on top of them. You know, lemon.
Citrus oil.
Well,
or
mostly
lemon
just
juice.
lemon oil, lemon
Yeah.
juice, and
Yeah.
then let it sit for 24 hours because then it releases the essential ingredients to start the process
Right.
that you can then start to paint that on. A lot of people will mix it with yogurt, and there's a lot of different
Interesting.
recipes for henna, but that's the plant. We start them all from seed, and they just get huge.
Tasty and decorative.
Exactly. But they need to be brought in the winter, for sure.
Okay. Well, it looks like a very attractive plant, actually.
Very pretty, and the
yeah.
flowers are beautiful white
Okay.
and very lovely.
Okay, well, the next plant we're going to talk about has kind of an unusual name, monsoon snake gourd.
Monsoon
I'm
snake
not
gourd.
sure if I like the sound of that, but tell me about
Well,
it.
again, monsoon snake gourd, another superfood, so many benefits, both for digestion, skin ailments, memory, and antioxidants, to fight free
Yeah,
radicals.
right.
But these snake gourds get up to 4.5 to 5 feet long.
Wow.
The single plant itself will be about 60 feet, much like a loofah or any of the other bitter gourds.
Right. It has a beautiful flower, too.
Gorgeous flower, and that's really why I got these, because I
Yeah.
love to photograph flowers. So
Yeah.
I just
Unusual-
love those.
unusual
Just
plant.
multi strains and like a
Yeah.
web.
Yeah,
I just
very,
love that.
Very interesting. Yeah, it's very,
beautiful.
very interesting. Well, you also have an amaranth with you, which is
We
it
do.
just has a gorgeous foliage color, and this one looks like it might do with some shades. That,
Again, I think this is going to be the first time that we've grown this particular kind of amaranth.
Okay.
We grow the other kind, both the basic lamb's quarters
Sure.
and the red and green variety, which get about 8 feet tall
Sure.
and get with the big monster seed pods on
Yeah,
them.
giant,
And so this
yeah.
one, we understand, gets even bigger.
Oh, really?
So we're very interested in this, and we've got such a following that really want this for their cuisine.
in the back of a bed somewhere, you can mix it in.
I would use it as a backdrop for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, then.
Can't wait for it to flower. I really want to see that one.
Okay. You also have I'm not sure.
We've got
what-
another bitter melon.
Bitter melon, that's
Another
exact-
bitter melon,
okay,
which
okay.
again is high antioxidant, very much used for diabetes and for cancer patients.
Okay.
Yeah, and
And-
so that again needs support. Is going to grow big, and will take over your house, your neighbor's house, and their house, all the way down the block.
On almost any of the gourds we're talking about here, that fair warning is that they're
Exactly.
rambunctious, to say
Exactly.
the
You
least.
have
But
to
they're fun to grow.
Send out the neighborhood notice.
There you go,
I'm
there you
growing
go.
snake gourd.
Right, and there's a lot of other things we could talk about.
Sure.
You brought along some holy basil, though, because this is
I did.
one that a lot of our viewers are familiar with. Great plant for using in our gardens, and just a spectacular flavor.
Well, it's a sacred plant. I mean, in the Hindu beliefs, God is in that plant in all its entirety, and we do use that also as a pollinator. We use it for teas. We use it, medicinally because it too has tremendous health benefit. We'll dry that and have tea just like we do with the moringa and everything else, and have it all winter long.
Yeah, and that would make a delicious tea, as I'm
Super
sure
good.
many of these do. All right, and to our viewers out there, I understand that It's About Time has a greenhouse completely dedicated to these plants. You can learn more at the nursery. Now it's time for Daphne.